Welcome back to Research Recap, where I'm going to talk about domestic violence in relation to crisis, trauma, and loss. Okay, so trigger warning, obviously, turn away, take care of yourself, take breaks, whatever you got to do. So what kind of domestic violence is there? There are sibling abuse, there is child to parent abuse, parent to child abuse, elderly abuse, and then intimate partner violence. That is what I'm going to be focusing on today, is intimate partner violence. So overall, regardless of the domestic violence that you are experiencing, it is coercive, threatening behavior that is abusive in financial, emotional, physical, psychological, any of those, regardless of gender or sexuality. So some pretty basic cycle of domestic violence is honeymoon phase, tension building, violent incident, and then honeymoon phase again. So this means that the violent incident seems pretty isolated. It seems situational. It's easy to make excuses for it. You know, like if anybody in the family or friendship does notice it, it's easy for that victim to say, well, it was because of XYZ, and it's excuses for the partner. And the honeymoon phase is a beginning and end. So it seems like the person is more so loving and caring than it is violent. That speaks to why people may stay in the relationships. And because of that, violent incident seems very isolated, very limited. Related to crisis, trauma, and loss, obviously the violent incidences are going to be the crisis situations where it's going to seem it's a lot to handle, right? It's going to be that crisis situation and that violence. The trauma is the entire experience of experiencing the walking on eggshells as survivors experience or describe it as saying that you don't know what to expect when it is going to be violent or honeymoon phase like. The loss is going to be people in the past relationships. It's going to be your past identity, your past support systems. Demographics. I'm going to fire some statistics at you really fast, so I'll put them on the screen as well. Women are experiencing this more so than men, and this reflects in the resources, which we'll talk about a little bit later. 76% of women compared to 18% of men have experienced physical abuse from intimate partners, obviously. And then 25% of women and 8% of men experience sexual abuse from intimate partners. And then 8% of women compared to 2% of men have experienced being stalked by a prior intimate partner. When men experience it, it's more so from the parent abuse. And it's also underreported for men.